Hey, Rebecca. I am just tinkering around right now, trying to make sure I have everything working as it should. We'll see. Is my sound? Yep, my sound's working. We're a little early. I just wanted to get in here and make sure everything was functioning as it should. I seem to be on a roll today, messing things up. I deleted a video and then re-uploaded the wrong video in its place. So now when this is over, I have to re-record the original video. But what are you going to do, right? And since, we are early, we'll just hang out for a little bit and wait for everyone else to pop in. Say hi when you get here, because I cannot see who all is here unless you say something. I don't think I can anyway. Hi. How is everyone's Thursday going so far? Mine has been uneventful. I got all my crap out of the way on Wednesday this week, literally. Hi. I am tired today, though. That's how that's because you have a spider loose in your house. I think I would rather have my septic backed up like I had yesterday than have to worry about sitting on a spider when I sat down on the toilet. Ugh. Oh, everybody's rolling in now. Hi, guys. So just to recap, what we're going to do today is we are going to look around at the different Etsy research tools such as Alora and Everbee and Profit Tree and Listing View, and maybe we'll even take a look at eRank. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to bother with eRank because I'm really looking at the ones that have extensions for us that we can use right on Etsy when we're browsing, rather than, you know, having to go to an external site and look around. I don't know. Maybe we will, because I might look at Insight Factory a little bit as well. But we shall see. We'll see how far we get in an hour. How far we get. I did see, in case anyone missed this, that Profit Tree did update their Chrome extension again today and said that it should eliminate the problems with hi Christina. Does eRank have an extension? Maybe they do. You know, I use it so little because it just, I don't know, it's to me it's just so substandard compared to the others anymore. I'm just not a big fan of eRank. Let me log in and take a look. First, I need tools. Let me search eRank Chrome extension. Oh, they do. They do have one. Well, I might as well add it and get logged into it while I am farting around here. Okay, I installed that. Now let's go to eRank. And all right. Let me get logged in. All right, so I have the eRank extension installed now, and we'll see. We'll see. It does. It has an extension. Yeah, I don't know. I just installed it though in another window. We shall see. I mean, I'm not even sure what it does because I have not. There's Everbee. eRank. All right, well, let's see what we get. All righty, so it's 2 o'clock. We shall get started. All right. What I was saying though is Profit Tree did send out an email a little while ago saying that they've updated their Chrome extension. So for those of us who were having problems with the extension causing our computer and our system and our browser to freeze up and lag, they say they have fixed that issue. I did install it again to test, and it doesn't seem like it's causing quite so much lag and stuff, but it's still, compared to some of the other extensions, compared to some of those, it still loads rather slowly. So I don't know, and it does not play well with others either. So, keep that in mind. If you want to use it and that's the only extension you want to use, that's great. I'm sure it works fine. You would need to uninstall and reinstall. Yes, that's what she said in the video, that to get the newest version, you need to uninstall your old one and reinstall the new one. I tend to run several of these apps at the same time, though, so I can compare what each one is telling me. So I can try and get the best data, rather than just using one and depending on that solely for my information. I like to run multiple so I can cross-check with different platforms and see what each one is saying and see if all the data is agreeing for the most part. They're all going to vary a little bit because Etsy does not just hand out all this info willy-nilly. It is something that there's a certain amount of guessing that goes on for all of these, keyword research tools and stuff. So, but, overall, it's, it is supposed to be getting better, and, we'll see. We're going to take a look at it today and see what we get. So, what I am going to do first off is I'm just going to do a search up here for, let's do Easter PNG, or let's do cute Easter PNG, cute Easter PNG. And we are going to take a look at, right now, I believe I have listing view turned on, Allura turned on, Everbee turned on, and apparently eRank. I just am not sure where that is going to show me any information. All right, I'm just going to wing it here. So obviously, as we're scrolling, here's listing view right at the top, and they'll tell you they'll tag each. I have every one of them, and I use them all at different times. I'll turn a couple on, I'll turn a couple off, and we'll see. But I do like how listing view, they have these little tags up here. They'll tell you how many of these are new listings, ones that are evergreen that sell consistently, and even if they find any trending listings. And as you're scrolling down through, you can see if it is tagged with that little green banner, that is a new listing. Of course, my Everbee tells me that as well, 1 month, and that tells me 1 month. And if I click in, we'll get even more information. So I am just trying to find out, though, where I might be missing some eRank info. I don't know. Maybe that's on the particular product page. But anyway, listing view also has a button at the top where you can immediately click and filter for bestsellers, which I love. There is no, going through the whole star seller filter and then changing it in your browser bar. Listing view does that for you. You just click the filter bestsellers and it does it. So I do really like Listing View. It gives us a lot of information. What I don't like about it is I think it's messy. If you look here, the way it is laid out, I just feel it's a little messy. I would like it to be inside of like a cute little table here like Everbee is or Profit Tree is, but it's not. But I overlook that. I really do. If these little buttons here were color coded, that would be nicer. A green pop, yeah, I'm not seeing any green pop-up window. Like I said, it could be hidden behind something else currently. And, you know, we'll find it. We'll find it. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to turn everything off but one. And, you know, once we talk about these and how they're showing up, I just wanted to compare right now, you know, like some of the views and how Allura over here, this doesn't even pop up on its own. You just have to click it and then it's going to give you an overview of the entire search that we just did, the cute Easter PNG, which I do like. And then it has the listings here. So you can get an idea right away about that particular keyword that you just searched. So I do like that about Allura. So I'm going to click into one of the listings and we'll take a look at that. Just want to make sure I'm not clicking on an ad. All right, so this one, when you come into it, you know, Everbee's at the top. Everbee says 24 sales a month, total sales of 61. And the listing age is 1 month. And if you look here, Listing View pretty much agrees. They're off by a little bit, you know, a couple sales, which is typical. Favorites, Listing View says 577, Everbee says 601. Again, that is close enough. It's not a big enough difference to make me question either one of them. So that's why I use more than one. I like to compare the data and see how close they are to each other. If, you know, two of them have very similar data, then I am confident that it's reasonably accurate. Like I said, none of these are ever going to be completely accurate. It's just not happening. But you know, we can get close to. And then Allura, they have the button here that they don't have something that automatically pops up, so I'm going to open that one. Now, if you notice, Allura is off significantly from the others. That one is showing only 42 sales, whereas Everbee says 61, Listing View says 63. And I've been noticing that trend lately, that Allura is not matching up with some of the others. And that's discouraging. I don't know if they're not updating their software to keep current with Etsy's API and, you know, what kind of data Etsy's giving them. But it's a little disconcerting that they are starting to become way off of the others when they used to be fairly accurate, you know, and in close comparison with the other platforms. So I'm a little concerned with the way Allura has been showing data lately. Like I said, I'm not sure what's going on. Not sure if they're just not keeping updated with Etsy's API or what it is. But so far, you know, like I said, Listing View and Everbee are comparative and they're pretty close. So now if we wanted to, with Everbee, we could just come over here and do product analytics, and it's going to bring up our listing that we're looking at right here. You can look at the shop details. How old is the shop? You can look at the listing details, and you can look at all the tags and everything here, and it's going to tell you, you know, what kind of competition level all the tags have, what kind of search volume all the tags have, which I like. You can see just a lot more about the product in general, okay? Listing view is a little different. They have this little box here. If we click on that, that's another video. We're not talking about how to do the designs today. We're talking about the research tools. I will be doing some designs like this though. Now, like I said, listing view, you click on this little box here and it opens up on their website with all the listing information. And that too shows us all their tags. It shows the opportunity score for the tags, the velocity score, the demand, the competition, and even the top category that these keywords are performing in, which I really, really like. That is some really good information. And you can see, you know, their daily trend, when, you know, when they're selling, what's selling, and things like that. I really, you know, I think out of all of these research tools, I really think Listing View is one of my favorite, just because of the way it gives us our data and the different information it does give us. I really, really like that. And, you know, Allura is the same way. Pop it up here and you just get all the details over here in a little window. And you can expand this to look at the tags a little more. But Allura loads slow. Okay, it really does. It's not one of my favorites for speed. It just is like right here. It's just taking, you know, sometimes you just have to redo it. Sometimes it just doesn't want to load at all, like right now. Okay, so that's the comparison of these three guys together. Let me go over here to my extensions. And let me turn off Allura for now. Let me turn on this one called Listadum. Hi, Sabrina. Let me turn off Everbee. Let me turn off Listing View. Let me turn on Profit Tree. All right. And we will go back. And eRank is still on too, and I still haven't found it, so who knows. But let me reload these pages now so we can take a look at the information that Profit Tree gives us. Now you see my browser is not frozen. However, you know, they do take a little bit to load their information here, but that's okay, you know. That's okay. Hi, Donna. I would rather have it take a little bit longer to load than have it freeze up my browser and my computer. So, oh, there we go. Okay, and like I said, Profit Tree does not play well with other extensions. I have this one here called Listadum. I would call this a combination of a keyword tool and a program like Vila, where you can bulk edit listings. Now, I have it on a free trial right now. I am not going to be continuing with it. I do think it's cute that we get the 2K views, 369 favorites right here. But I get that from Profit Tree too if I wanted to. And I get that from, you know, any of the others. So I just wanted to show you this one quick. You know, it just really doesn't give you a lot of information outside of tags and views and things like that. There's no sales data at all. So I'm going to turn that one off. Let's turn that one off and refresh these. I still can't find where E-Rank is in all of this, but hey, whatever. So right now I just have Profit Tree on because Profit Tree doesn't play well with others. As soon as you have another extension turned on with Profit Tree, it throws this little table all out of whack, and it just doesn't look right, okay? So Profit Tree gives us some nice data. I really do like this. I hope that I'm going to test it for the next couple days or until it lags my computer or my browser again. But if, you know, it does give us some nice data. It gives us, you know, how many views, how many favorites, the listing age. It tells us right here with these colorful tags that I do love, you know, how many times this has been added to the cart in the last 24 hours, how many times it's been purchased in the last 24 hours, and how many times it's been viewed in the last 24 hours. So I really like that information. I like that it tells us, you know, the monthly sales, the revenue. Okay, yeah, I mean, I didn't even realize they had one. I turned it on, but I have no idea where it is. You know, I don't see anything. So I don't think it's here. I think it's just like a dead extension, honestly. But this, I believe, is something, oh, okay, I cannot use this because I am only on the lifetime plan here in Profit Tree. But if you are on, what is the monthly revenue? The listing has 0 as listing age, but revenue is 110. That means this is less than a month old. That's what that means. When it says listing age is 0, it just simply means that listing is less than a month old. So it's not yet a month old. That's why. This is a crazy fast seller. I was just looking at this earlier with, let me show you again here. Let me turn this Listedom back on. And Listedom will tell you yeah, I mean, when it says 0 months, it just means that it's, you know, less than a month old. But here, Listedom will show you right here. Listedom says it was listed 6 days ago. That's why it's showing 0 for Profit Tree, because, you know, Profit Tree goes by months, and that's, you know, all there is to it. Listedom will show me how many days it's been listed. Or here, 3 weeks, 6 days, 1 month, 12 months, 4 weeks, 3 weeks. So, you know, when you see 0 months, don't let that concern you at all. It just means it's under a month old. It hasn't even been active a month. I think it's built-in audiences, and that's why, you know, I find it, I say how important it is over and over again to build your own audience, whether it is a community, a mailing list, something. When these designs are getting 50 sales in the first week or added to 20 carts in the first week, that is telling me that this seller has a mailing list or she has a community of some sort that she can send out a notice and say, hey guys, I just listed this new Easter design, and gives them the link, and whether they buy it or not, they're adding it to their carts or they're favoriting it, and that all helps Etsy push you up in the algorithm. But obviously she's getting sales from it too. 22 sales in 6 days, basically. Yes, that's exactly what it is. They already have an audience. Yep. They already have an audience. And that's why from the very start of building your Etsy shop, you need to be building an email list too. I just cannot stress that enough. It may be slow building it, but build it. We're going to talk more about building your own communities, your own groups or communities where you can get customers to interact with you and things like that. But that is what sends these designs over the top immediately. They have a built-in audience already. Okay? So, but yes, when you see 0 listing age, but they already have sales, it just means it's less than a month old. Okay? So I do like the information that Profit Tree gives us. I love that it tells us, how many sales, the monthly revenue. We can look at the tags here. It doesn't give us really a lot of information about the tags, which, that's possible, but I don't know, and they could, nothing is beyond, people, I don't put anything past people anymore. Right. Just because it's against the rules doesn't mean it's not happening. I am more likely to believe, though, that they just have a built-in audience already. I get it that you can do that with the refunds and everything, but that's just a lot of extra work. But I am sure some do. I have no doubt about it. But anyway, Profit Tree does give us tags, but it doesn't give us a lot of information about the tags. I wish it did give us more tag information, like which ones are, getting the most searches, which ones are getting the most out of it. But I don't like that this is all the information we get. I wish that, and maybe I'm missing something, because I'll be honest, I don't use Profit Tree Chrome extension because it just has not played well with my system. But I wish I could get more information out of Profit Tree. I don't like that this is it right here. This is all I get. I can't open this listing up inside of Profit Tree without going and opening Profit Tree in another window and, doing all that work myself. All right. So that's where I find that Listing View has the advantage. Etsy Radar looks prettier, but I feel like Listing View gives me better listen, those shops, you don't even worry about them. Those shops, they are stealing mass-produced crap and just putting it out there. They shouldn't even be on your radar as far as anything goes. You just ignore them. There's nothing you can do about them, so we just ignore them. But Listing View here, like I said, this is where I feel Listing View has the advantage over Profit Tree. We're getting a lot of the same information. Listing View says this has had 93 total sales. Radar says 22 monthly sales, but it does not give me a total sales. All right. So let me, man, this is just gonna, woo, my browser is just gonna flip out over this one. Let's open this up and let's open Everbee at the same time. All right. Let's see what we get here. Well, this is all over the place, isn't it? All right. Everbee says nothing. Okay. It's got no information on it. No sales, no monthly sales, no monthly revenue, 15 favorites. That's it. I'm telling you, my hamsters are, they're like, what is she doing? So, you know, Everbee's just a little behind, I think, okay? Everbee's just a little behind. Listing View, it appears to have a little bit on Etsy Radar even, as far as how fast it's getting its data from Etsy, because it's telling us 93 sales, and this has quite frankly been reasonably accurate for me. Let's go over here and look at this one that's maybe not quite so new. That one is, you know, 6 days old. That's a tough one. All right, this one is a month old. Everbee says 61 total sales. Listing View says 63 total sales. Profit Tree says 114 monthly sales. And, you know, I just don't know. You know, I know a lot of people swear by Profit Tree, that it's supposed to be the most accurate, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Yeah, they aren't that far behind now. However, they are not as quick as, say, even Listing View here. You know, this is a 6-day-old listing, February 13th. And, you know, they're showing a bunch of sales. It's in 20 cards. I have no doubt in my mind that it has had 93 sales already. I do not doubt it at all. Etsy Radar's a little bit behind. They're showing 22 sales. That could, you know, that could update later today or tomorrow and match Listing View. Everbee is definitely behind. But on this one, you know, I'm seeing 61 total, 63 total. And then, you know, Profit Tree is telling us 114. That's a huge discrepancy. Let me, oh, you guys just want to kill my computer today, don't you? You guys want to kill it. Let's load Allura too. Let's see what we do. All righty. Allura says 42 sales. They're even on this one where Listing View says 63, Everbee says 61, Profit Tree says 114, and then Allura says 42. I do check my own stores for accuracy, and I haven't done it in probably a month, but the last time I checked it, Listing View was by far the most accurate. I didn't even check Profit Tree because, like I said, up until today, I couldn't even use their plugin, their Chrome extension. It just would crash my browser and I couldn't do anything. So up until the last time I did check it about a month ago, Listing View was definitely the most accurate and closest. I mentioned earlier that Allura is starting to fall behind some of the others as far as their data. And like I said, I'm just not sure if they're just not updating their software to keep up with the Etsy APIs and the data that Etsy is sending out. But they are becoming less reliable data-wise. So, as of right now, as of my last testing, Listing View was the most accurate. Now, having said that, they all have their quirks and their glitches, and, one day you might load it up and it's telling you something absolutely craziness. But for the most part, I have found Listing View to be the most reliable overall. So let's go back over here at this one and see what, this is the one that's crazy where, Everbee's showing nothing. Listing View shows 93. Profit Tree shows 22. And look at that, Allura shows 11. So this one, this 6-day-old listing is making them all crazy, I think. I think this 93 is probably a little inaccurate. It may be a guesstimation based on maybe the first couple days of sales, how many it sold, that they're, expecting over the next, in the first 6 days total, that this is probably what it should have sold. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think anybody knows exactly how any of these platforms figure out the numbers that they're going to show us. But I do believe at this point in time that Listing View is one of the more accurate ones. It does, exactly. They are showing the same amount of views. The favorites are off by much, 108 to 99. That, that's negligible. I don't even look at a discrepancy that small. The sales is the only thing that's a little off. And, like I said, every one of these platforms has to do some guesstimating. So I'm going to say that, perhaps the first 48 hours this was listed, it sold 22 or 25. No, I do not believe there's a way to see how many people have favorited this particular listing in Etsy by itself. Oh, wait, no, 114 favorites, way down at the bottom. You were right. Nice job. I didn't even realize that was down there. 114 favorites listed on February. Now, see, this is saying listed on February 19th. So that's craziness because it is February 19th today. But it does say that that has 100. Let me go back. I don't know what I did. 114 favorites. See, I don't even know if you can believe Etsy at this point in time. That's telling me this listing was listed today. And I know it wasn't listed today because I literally saw this listing yesterday. Okay. So that's saying 114. Listing View says 108. Profit Tree says 99. Allura says 94. So, they're all pretty close. They're all pretty close. So that's not bad. Favorites aren't bad. Yeah, see, Everbee's just way behind here because they're only showing 15 favorites. So I am going to turn off Everbee because they seem to be completely out of sync right now. Let me turn that off. Holy Hannah. My poor browser. It just doesn't know what it's doing today. Okay, so now we have Listing View and Profit Tree and Alora. And like I said, Alora has been lately losing the battle for accuracy. Even checking my own listings, it has been losing the battle. You know what? I believe the listing date for the most part stays the same, at least on these. I'm not sure if Etsy changes it or not, but I mean, I'm looking right here and it says reviews for this item 3, and here's a review for it on February 6th. January 30th, and February 12th. Huh. So, you know, this one is how old? January 14th. Okay. Yeah, this one for the new platform. Huh. I haven't gotten that message. I'm less than happy with Alora at the moment. I mean, I'm trying not to let it affect, you know, how I talk about them as far as this comparison. I mean, I do find it to be less accurate than the others right now, but I'm just not real pleased with them. I'm going to have to log into my Alora account and see. Yeah, I mean, I'm just, you know, I'm just not overly pleased with them overall at the moment. But yeah, you know, like I said, they've been falling further and further behind in accuracy anyway. I think right now, I'll have to check into that. Maybe that's why they're not replying to my emails. They're busy with their beta. But lately it has been between, I mean, I would say Profit Tree and Listing View are probably the two most accurate right now. I do think that, like this one says it's a, you know, 6-day-old listing. Let's run down to the bottom of the page. February 19th, this is accurate, 114 favorites. Yep, that's pretty well accurate. I think Etsy Radar here, Profit Tree, they might just be a tiny bit behind, or they guesstimate on the conservative side. Yeah, she's selling that at $5 too, and that's, you know, that's a lot of money in the last few days from this one listing. I was looking at this yesterday. I was going to do a video showing how to make a design like this in, say, like Affinity. That would be the easiest way to do it, and it would be really, really simple to make something similar in Affinity. So anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. We are talking about, you know, which of these platforms seems to be the most accurate and reliable. And I do believe we are down to, you know, Listing View. If you like Profit Tree, that's great. I'm still hesitant to trust it because of how difficult it's been for me to use for well, since it came out. This is the first time I've ever been able to use this plugin or this Chrome extension for longer than 5 minutes. So that's a plus. That's a great thing. But see, now right away here, it's telling me unresponsive, and it's, you know, Profit Tree just doesn't. Listing View is a little bit more expensive. It really is. But I just think it's worth it. Let me go into, now let's go into Profit Tree's website, and let's go into Listing View's website and take a look inside of there. Profit Tree is, you know, we've got product report, we got product research here. We can do a product finder. I do only have the lifetime account in here, so there are things that are blocked off from me. Let's do teacher PNG in here and take a look at what this shows us. And then let's come over here and look for, let's look for teacher PNG over here. Now, is that what I searched for over here? Yep, teacher PNG. Okay. So on Listing View, we get, you know, the shop name. We hover over here. It'll tell us whether, you know, this is an outlier or, you know, a new listing, if it's on fire and trending. So that's really nice that you can do that. Yes, Profit Tree does the same thing pretty much with its in-demand buttons. So that is great. We can see the demand here. I'm trying to see, we can search or sort by monthly sales. Let's sort it the other way, okay? And let's come over here and, all right, let's look at this particular listing. This is what came up on top on both. This 200, I mean, it's a bundle, all right? They're always going to be a bundle. Let's sort this by monthly sales, just like we are doing in Profit Tree, and see if we still get the same thing on top. We do. Okay, this is telling me 200 Valentine's PNG Designs bundle. Let's make sure it's the same thing. Yep, that's the same listing. Let's look at it on Etsy. Open it on Etsy. Make sure we are, in fact, looking at exactly the same listing. Okay. And it is the exact same listing. All right, so this came up on top for both of them. Yeah, exactly. So, if Profit Tree just didn't update their data in the last day or two, it could absolutely easily have a discrepancy like that. Like I said, I don't think it's an inaccurate platform. I've gone in and used it on their website, and they seem to be reasonably accurate, even checking against my own listings. So now this one here, again, this could be just, the last day or two of data. This one is showing, this is a year old, so this isn't a new listing at all. Etsy Radar is showing 296 sales per month. Listing View is saying about 530 per month. Monthly revenue, 2321. Monthly revenue is 1,000. This is definitely higher, and I'm going to believe Listing View on this one because it is a Valentine's bundle. So it was probably selling like freaking mad over the last, few weeks. And it's just a little bit of a delay in reporting. That's all it is. But what I wanted to do is look in here and see how different. Look at this. Let's look at this Preppy Coquette 100 Days of School. That's got to be in here somewhere. Preppy Coquette 100 Days of School. Let's look at this one and see how different they are. Oh, okay. So, add to cart. Okay, 3 sold in the past 24 hours. Alrighty, that's good. I never add to cart unless I intend to buy it, just because it's in 55 carts. That's insane. That is insane. Okay, so let's go back to the listing itself. And again, Listing View is saying 399 monthly sales. Radar is selling 169. I just don't know at this point. Like I said, I don't use Etsy Radar much at all because it has never played well with my browser. But we will have to, this says, okay, yeah, the end of December, so it makes sense. But now that the 100 days of school is past, that will be dropping off too. Yeah, that, in 55 carts, 3 bought in the last 24 hours. But I like to, yes, it is nice when something is selling. Let's see here. Let's do this one. What's it say? I think somebody did that. You said it already. Yeah, 256 carts, 10 bought in the last 24 hours. So that is some crazy activity on this listing. So I have no problem at all believing that, oh my gosh, yeah, I think we just killed my browser. Pretty sure we just killed it. Just killed it. No, I have no problem believing then that this actually has sold 93 times since it was listed 6 days ago. I have no problem. I just don't think Radar's updated quite as much yet. That's all. But when you look at the action on the cart and the last 24 hours, yes, their extension was just updated this morning. That doesn't mean that they pulled the API data from Etsy this morning. That's a completely different ball game. Yeah, I know they did just update the extension, but it doesn't mean that they just pulled current data from Etsy as far as searches and sales and all that other stuff goes. But like I said, looking at what this is doing right now, when you add it to your shopping cart, I have no problem at all believing that it has, in fact, made 93 sales already. I don't doubt that at all. I think Etsy Radar is just a little bit behind on the data coming in from Etsy. Allura is even farther behind. They're saying 11 sales. Oh, yeah, they absolutely fixed a bunch of the problems I was having. I couldn't use it at all prior to today. Yeah, she updated the extension this morning. I did download the new one. I couldn't use it at all prior to this. If I wasn't using the newest version of the extension, we wouldn't be using Etsy Radar at all. See you, Christina. Yeah, it didn't function for me at all prior to today. So yeah, I definitely have the newest version. Yep. So I think they're just a little bit behind on their data from Etsy. I don't think it is, and I think a lot of times we put way too much emphasis and weight on the last 24 hours. Yeah, it is crazy nice to see something selling mad in 24 hours, but I am telling you right now, when something goes crazy in 24 hours, I do. I can't remember off the top of my head. I believe I'll have to look. I think I want to say it was like $199 for the year, which really isn't too bad. But I'll have to look for sure. I can't remember where it is off the top of my head. I know I have it saved somewhere, the coupon. It really was a timely update, or yeah, we wouldn't have been using Profit Tree extension at all today. I could not function at all with it prior to the update. I was really excited to see that because I did want to use it. Let me see, is it in here? Listing view. Yeah, use Just Rhonda J for 50% off. So that's in the tools and resources in the community. You can go in there and my affiliate link is there, and then just grab the coupon code and it will give you 50% off. All right. That's for Listing View. But what I was saying is I think a lot of times we put too much weight on the previous 24-hour sales because, yeah, 50% off Listing View. Because like we said earlier, when you see something just go crazy in a day or two, I really, really believe that a lot of it is from a built-in audience that they already have, that they can blast their new listing out to and kick in that sales momentum right away, you know. So, you know, don't get too hung up on that. You know, I do like the information that we get here in Profit Tree. I do not like that tags are just tags. There's nothing there for us. In Profit Tree here, if we look at a listing, let's just click on any of these listings. Where is that? The 100 Days of School. If we open that up inside of Listing View, we can look at the tags, and they have all the tags right here for us, and they're telling us what category they are, you know, their top category that they are in, how well these tags are in demand, the competition score for the tags. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they, you know, it's so I don't get myself all excited over, oh my God, this is a 6-day-old listing and in the last 24 hours it sold, you know, and I mean, I get it. It's a popular listing, but it may not be now it will be a popular listing on Etsy because it's going to be in front of everyone because of the momentum it had within the first couple days. However, I believe that the momentum from that probably came from an existing audience. that the seller has. And we are going to work on that a lot more. I am going to start drilling that into you guys' head on the daily. I mention it and then I let it go. I mention it and I let it go. I mention it and I let it go. But it is super, super, super important for your shop. I mean, it's super important outside of your shop, because if you have an audience, a mailing list, and tomorrow Etsy shuts your shop down, at least you can still communicate with your customers and say, hey, this is what happened. Now come find me here. If you don't have that mailing list and Etsy suspends your shop, you have no way to let anybody know what happened, and you're done. You're done. You will start over from scratch. So your own audience, your own community, your own mailing list, something is very, very important. But anyway, I love the listing view. I love how we get a lot more information on the tags in here than we do in Profittree. Yep, I can't do that. Okay. All right, I get it. Yeah, I can't really. I have the, I can look at these listings, but I can't really, darn it. Once I am in here, okay, product finder, teacher PNG, they show me the listings, but I can't really do anything beyond that. I can look at it on Etsy, but I can't click in here and get any other information on it. So that's another huge advantage for me to Listing View. I can come in here and I can see a lot more detailed data. I can see, if it says they sold 800 of these, I can see, well, did they sell them all within a week? Was it like some sales momentum from a personal audience and then that was it? I can see, their titles, their tags, all that stuff. I get a lot more information in here. I can look at the shop down here and it's going to tell me, how long this shop has been around, what kind of sales the shop is doing. You can click the tags and see them. You can. And that's what I was saying. You get no information on the tags. They're there. You can see what tags they're using, but that's it. I have no information. Whereas over here, I can see what this tag is doing. If I click on the tag itself, like 100 Days of School, let's click on that. It opens up another tab for me, and it tells me how many competing listings are using that tag, how many competing shops are using that tag. We have the graph here to show us the search trend, or how many sales are being made each month with this tag. And then we come down here and there's listings that all use this particular tag as well. So it is really nice for doing, research on your keywords and things like that. We get a lot more information from Listing View on our tags and stuff like that. So that is, a big one. And this velocity score, here we go. We click on this and it's telling us this is going up. This is on an upward trend right now. This particular tag. Now that's going to start dropping off crazy, because 100 Days of School is over now. It was last week, one day, something like that. And this is from, it goes on and it shows all the shops that are using this tag and stuff like that. right. You know, and that's the other thing. You know, I got that lifetime plan, but if you want a lot more, let me come in here. Upgrade now. We were just talking about the cost of Listing View. And if you're doing monthly, you know, let's say, no thanks, you know, now for the Pro, you're looking at $50 a month or $30 a month. So it is the same price as Listing View. And if you want half of the, you know, even the low end on here is 30. I don't know what all the difference is, you know, between the two. But it's not any cheaper than Listing View. And I still believe we get more bang for our buck inside of Listing View than Profit Tree. So, are there any questions? If not, no, it's not. Like I said, you know, even if I got the upgraded, you know, I'm still not getting half of the information that I like to see when I'm trying to decide what tags to use, what keywords to use, you know, things like that. I'm not getting most of that. You know, this is, I just think you get a lot more bang for your buck with Listing View. I can come in here and just look at a database of all the listings. Here we are, 128,356,000, and sort them by their monthly trend. The trend growth here. And, you know, then you can look through here and see if there's anything that you can use. Now I'm going to do PNG because I do all digital. But if you do POD Rank Hero, I believe it's ongoing. I'm not 100% sure on that. I have never used Rank Hero, so I can't really speak on that too much. Actually, I do think I used it once or twice, and oh, okay, yes, it used to be called something else. I wasn't a fan. That does not mean, you know, that it's not, yeah, okay, it used to be Etsy Check, yeah. I wasn't a fan. I just didn't think it gave me all the data that I wanted. It is much cheaper. It is, you know, but again, you're getting less information, I believe. So, I mean, I can look more at Rank Hero and do a more in-depth look at it for you if you just want me to. It's been a while. It was, I think, Etsy Check last time I used it. So I'll have to really look into it. I don't want to really speak on it without investigating it a little bit more. But I will, and I will let you know. Okay? So I think we will cut it off for today. I will check on that coupon and let you know if it is ongoing. If I could only have one, it would be Listing View, hands down. Insight Factory is, it's not that it's in, it is different. They're doing a lot of changes over there right now, and that's why I didn't even include it today, because they're doing so many changes right now that I'm struggling to keep up with it. So I want to look at it and play with, some of the new. The last time we were in there, it even confused me because it was kept knocking me into the new system, and I just wasn't. So I will have to, again, I'll have to go in there and look around and do some comparison research to see if they are still worth using. I believe the last couple times we were in there, we were getting some pretty misleading information as far as, or the keywords that they were telling us, only had, oh, this keyword had 13 sales, but it was a keyword that was like, 8 words long, that I'm really not sure how anyone even searched for that to find it. I think it was more like they were mixing and matching keywords to come up with their data. So I'm not sure. I have to spend some time with Insight Factory again, because I know I used to absolutely love them. They were fantastic for finding little known, low competition areas to design for. But I'm not sure they're keeping up with the times either. So I'm going to do some more research on that. I will look at Rank Hero too, and I'll do some deeper digging into Insight Factory and see what I can see as far as, are they still as reliable as they used to be. It is a shame that, some of these platforms don't keep up and, fall to the wayside. And I used to be absolutely in love with Allura. Mostly for their Pinterest feature, but now if you have your social media scheduler, your any one of them, Content 360, Buffer, Patty Post, New Link, any of them, it takes you a few minutes to schedule an entire week's worth of Pinterest pins. So it doesn't. Did you copy and paste it? Because I don't think that will work if it's case sensitive, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's case sensitive. And if it doesn't, let me know. If it still doesn't work, let me know, and I will reach out to them, because it is supposed to work for that as well. So, alrighty guys, so I am gonna shut this down. I will look into Insight Factory more, see if we can still depend on that like we used to, and I will take a look at Rank Hero and see what that is as well. So I hope you guys found something useful here today. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments for me. I will always. Okay, well, I will have to, I'll have to reach out to them and see what's going on. But if if you need anything, just let me know in the comments, and I will answer as best I can whenever I can. And I will see you guys next Thursday. I'm not quite sure what we'll do next Thursday yet. I'll have to think on that. If you have suggestions for next Thursday, put them in the community or leave them in the comments on here, wherever, and we'll come up with a plan. All right, so I'll see you guys next week. Have a great day. It's starting to rain here. We might get some more snow this weekend. Yay, not. Ours is finally starting to melt. I was really hoping we'd get through the winter without any more, but it doesn't look like it. So we shall see. All right, see you next week. Patchwork Bunnies, you want to do that on a live? We can do Patchwork Bunnies on a live or whatever. All right, that's what we'll do. Next week is Patchwork Bunnies live, baby. All right. See you guys.